So let me ask you another question here. What do you feel are some of the biggest challenges out there in enterprise mobility today?
I think a lot of companies are challenged by what they should be doing and what tools they should be using and getting assistance. So our core business, obviously, is the provision of experts and of expert talent. So one thing that we're doing around the world is looking for those early adopters, looking for those consultants that have figured out some of these issues today and have run successful projects for clients that have put enterprise mobility into place successfully and given a real tangible business result. And our clients are looking to access people like that, people that can help them figure out what the strategy is, and then once the strategy is in place, what tools do I use? How do I put this in? How do I integrate it with my systems today? And how do I make sure that I don't reach a dead end 2 years down the road because technology shifts?
And that is one of the biggest challenges, because we all know that in mobility, devices and operating systems are changing almost weekly. And how do you stay on top of that and support that wide group of different versions and devices out there effectively? Because it's not just about enterprise mobility, it's also about business to consumer applications for the purpose of marketing, loyalty, coupons, rebates, you name it. You need to think about how do you support what the consumer market is also purchasing and using. So there's a lot of challenges out there. So why don't we focus that just for a moment on your client base, Paul? What are the biggest issues you're hearing from your clients today?
With respect to mobility, it's that question of strategy, and it's the questions about tool sets. So our clients are typically running several major initiatives at once. So cloud technologies are taking off rapidly, and every large customer of ours, and a typical customer is Fortune 1000. Okay. So our clients are all running multiple programs of cloud. What do we do with mobility? And at the same time, upgrading or implementing or expanding on their enterprise software that they have in place today. So they're addressing business issues first and foremost that keep them ticking over or allow them to expand or allow them to seize on an opportunity, and then figuring out how cloud and mobile help them. So to give you one example, one of our customers has a tremendous presence worldwide, but they do a ton of business in Africa. So mobility is something that they're pushing aggressively, but they've also got to consider in Africa the access to internet is not as reliable as it might be in London or Paris or New York. So they're having to deal with issues of connectivity. So they're looking for the cutting edge where they can use it, but at the same time they need to make sure that they can run their business on some more fundamentally stable platforms in those geographies. So they're looking at how do we use SMS messaging, and where does it fit, and how can we action events within our systems by using SMS messaging, both inbound and outbound. So we're really finding our customers are embracing mobility, but at the same time they're having to figure out how to apply it logically to their business. So they'll go cutting edge where they can and get a good business return, and in some cases they also need to go old school and build that into their model.
That's very fascinating. That's where reality may be different from leading edge kinds of technology, because bottom line, it's whatever works and works efficiently and cost effectively. It's not about the newest technology, it's what works, isn't it?
Absolutely. So the key task for our consultants is to allow companies to look for opportunities to use that cutting-edge technology and get a real tangible result, but at the same time apply proven technology where it makes the most sense. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for any consulting organization or any independent consultant today. So as I talk to the consultants that we provide to our customers and ask them about mobility and what it's changing for them, that's always the first thing I get back. There are some great new technologies emerging, but we need to make sure that they're right for the application at the time.
So, Paul, I'm going to wrap this up here so we don't go too long, but let me just ask you for your advice. What advice would you be giving companies out there? So they're looking at enterprise mobility. What are some good advice that you can provide them?
I think the key thing is to find good advisors, find people that have done successful projects before, that have good forward-looking ideas. The amount of data, both internally and externally, that we have access to today is growing rapidly, and I think that anything that doesn't include the data that's out there in social networks is fundamentally flawed. You have to take that into consideration, and I think that with mobile technology, it's possible to embrace it very, very rapidly and run pilots that will quickly show the business users what they can achieve. And I think companies should look to do that. But it's always about good people. Everything comes down to good people. Good forward-thinking people that can make sure you get a very tangible result and make sure that you have an implementation that will see you not only for the next year or two, but give you a good roadmap forward.
Yes, I can see that would be one of the biggest challenges, because enterprise mobility is so new that it's going to be hard to find those that have a great deal of experience. I mean, there's a few old-timers like myself and others who've been doing this since 2000, but there's not a lot, especially that can point to a lot of successful implementations. So finding the right people that have that experience, I think, is critical, because
Absolutely.
You really don't want to be reinventing the wheel.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to try to learn this kind of stuff on the job, because today I've not seen IT departments that have the latitude and the flexibility to take as much time and spend as much money as they want to build an app. No, everybody's under a deadline with budget constraints, and as a result, they need to do it right the first time. So that's certainly something that I see represented in the market as well. Well, Paul, I want to thank you very much for joining us today and sharing with us.
Oh, my pleasure, Kevin.
We should do this again.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to hearing more from your experiences in the field as you guys are offering these strategy sessions around enterprise mobility to your client base. With that, I want to thank the listeners for joining us as well.